expect over the next 1 to 3 days or so? Well, I'm here to help you with that, my friend. Good bless one, everyone. I'm Aurea Eden, and this is Daily Energy with Daily Predictions, your news before the news. Okay, good bless one is my way to say good, blessed, and wonderful. It is my way to greet. So today's energy is centered around spirituality. It's going to center around our internal selves again. Self-reflection. We're going to have see a lot coming up about religious organizations. We're going to see news about, I'm picking up on a lot about like Buddhist monks and priests. I'm seeing something about Romani. This could be something about Rome coming up over the next 1 to 3 days or so. But I've been picking up clergy for the last few days or so. It's also going to be a good time to manifest, as every day is a good time to affirm and manifest, okay? It's a good time to affirm, meditate, and also reflect, okay? So when I say affirm, you know, it's basically you talking positive, okay? You cannot, or you can, but I wouldn't affirm negatively, okay? I wouldn't. You can, but I would not affirm negative. When you affirm, I am capable of accomplishing what it is that I have started, what it is that I have said in my mind that I wanted to do, what it is that I have set out to do. I am enough. I am equipped. I am worthy. You are speaking to yourself in a way that you're putting out only what it is that you're wanting to attract. Yesterday, I told you about, a friend of mine who was basically everything I said. She said something back negative. So you want to send out things positive so that you can get positive back, right? You know that saying, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, okay? But sometimes they say, so as a man thinketh, so is he, okay? But it starts with your thinking. You must first think that you can accomplish a thing. You must first think that you can do. So, thoughts are not thinking. Remember, we talked about that a while ago. Thoughts and thinking are not the same. So this is the time to where you put those thoughts on the back burner and say, look, thoughts, you're not going to hinder what I think about myself, because thoughts can be hijacked, okay? But your thinking is more active than it is passive, you see? So it's like thoughts are passive, thinking is more action oriented. It's like thinking is something that you it's something that you do before you do, so to speak. So it's more action oriented, because when someone thinks something about themselves, they're likely to act according to that. So what I'm saying to you now, you want to think in a way that is going to be edifying for you and the kingdom, okay? For you and the kingdom. Because I got to throw the kingdom in there somewhere, okay? Because if we're not doing it for the kingdom, what are we doing it for? Okay? That's the way that I see it, okay? So a lot of spiritual talk, and this is over the next 1 to 3 days. Obviously, tomorrow's a Sunday, but I've been picking up on some kind of reverend or rabbi or some kind of bishop over the last few. This could be a conference, because I did see a convention coming up. I am picking up on something about like obeying. So this could be new rules, laws, regulations coming in over the next 1 to 3 days or so, that would either benefit the church or cause the church to go up in an uproar, okay? This could be talk about dividing church and state, but as I said, why would you divide church and state, so to speak, when where you live was founded on God? I'm just saying. All right. But I ain't no politician, okay? Nor am I a medical doctor, nor am I a legal professional of any kind, okay? Nor am I a financial advisor. But if you know like I know, then you know. All right. So I said all that to say certain things like medical will come up. And one of the things that I'm seeing medically is I'm seeing something about boils and cysts and stuff like pox. So this could be measles, chicken pox, but I'm seeing that we're going to hear from the medical officer over the next 1 to 3 days or so. And I feel like there's going to be talk about an infectious disease. This infectious disease could be start out with animals. More specifically, I'm seeing animals such as sheep and rams. And so this could be like disease that was contracted or spread through sheep or ram or something like that. But I am picking up on that. And when I'm talking about ram, we could be talking about the truck, okay? We could be talking about the ram truck, okay? Because it's all interconnected here. But I am seeing something coming up about that. Business-wise, I am seeing something coming up about business over the next 1 to 3 days. We're going to be seeing quality checks, and we're going to be seeing specifically tomorrow, you don't want to go to work late, okay? You want to show up and show up on time, and while you're there, you want to show out, and I mean show out in your production, okay? You want to make sure you're doing what it is that you need to be doing tomorrow, because your managers, your bosses, whoever, CEOs, they will be out and about seeking whom they may either promote or fire, okay? And the next day after that, if they see you slacking, then they might say, no, I just don't feel like they cutting it, okay? So that's why I'm saying you want to make sure you are doing what it is that you need to do accordingly. If you're going to take off, make sure you go through the proper channels and that way, because you definitely don't want to see them letting you sleep at work tomorrow. You don't want them to see you sleeping on the job. Okay, so get your rest or do whatever it is that you need to do tonight so that you can be able to perform tomorrow. Okay, so over the next 2 days or so, we're going to see a lot coming up about support. Okay, we do have mass transitions coming up. And when I say mass transitions, I mean mass transitions into the spirit. This is like mass endings, mass tragic events. Okay, more specifically, I'm seeing huge, major bomb threats. Okay, I've been telling you this over the last few days. Okay, so I'm seeing bomb threats, and I'm seeing it like explosions. I told you I've been seeing fires, so we'll hear more about that over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Sometimes can stretch out to a week or somewhere around that, okay? Because energy comes in, but sometimes it lingers. Sometimes it comes in like 2 days ahead of me, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be ahead of you. How you gonna get ahead of me? So that means I'm still too close to the energy, okay? But so I'm also seeing like acquisitions and merger talk here over the next 1 or 3 days. I'm also seeing like supportive work when it comes down to businesses. Like, for instance, like what is it called? It's like when a business like sells a product, or they buy a product before they sell that product, they tweak the product, they do something new to it. I can't think of what it's called, but that's what I'm picking up on in an energy here. So we are going to see businesses being affected by supportive companies. Maybe some of the things that they would use are no longer available to them right now, or there's some kind of shortage of some sort here. But I'm definitely seeing like some kind of subsidiary affected. It's not the main thing that's affected. I feel like it's going to be the subsidiary. So I feel like there's going to possibly be some closures on the business front over the next 1 to 3 days. And I don't feel like it's possible. I know it's going to happen. So it could be a popular business that we see close up. And over the last few days, I've been telling you about certain business names that's been coming out. But I'm also seeing like wrecks occurring as well. So and so you know how that said, better get Mako. Mako is in the energy today. So when you're out here and about over the next 1 to 3 days, make sure you're paying attention, because I'm seeing a lot having to do with rides, ride share, that type of thing. So we have a lot of news coming in about accidents, as I told you yesterday would happen here. Also, stabbing. I'm seeing people being like basically I see like someone's choice being taken away from them. Okay? I'm seeing force. Okay, I'm seeing force. All right. And so it's like you either obey or else, is what I'm seeing. And so Spirit wants you to prioritize your well-being here. I do see kind acts. I do see things being done in goodwill. I see friendliness. Oh, goodwill may even come up. Okay, since I said goodwill, and we're talking about, we'll hear news about goodwill. Maybe it's goodwill that's going to do some more kind acts. Okay, but I am seeing, that kindness here. So goodwill, good deeds. Something about good deeds. We might see Tyler Perry movie come up again. Good deed. Last time I said something about Brandy, right? And in that same video, I talked about Mo. I did not know that it could be Brandy and Monica, because remember, if you looked up at the top, you saw where it said mine. And if I would have put all of those together, I would have like, oh, Brandy and Monica, they coming out, and they're going to go be talking about The Boys Mind, but come to find out they're going on tour together. And so I didn't catch it all, but I did catch the names, Brandy and Monica, okay? I don't know if they call Monica Mo, okay? But it would make sense if they did, all right? But I'm seeing here coming up. We're going to see something in the news coming up about courtesy and service. Because remember, we're going to be seeing over the next 1 to 3 days news coming up about quality checks. Okay. Is this quality service? Is this service good or is this service bad? Do you want to go here? Do you not want to go there? And so that's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing something about gifts being given as well. But somebody just might not be grateful for the gift, okay? Because I'm seeing that the gift might just be inexpensive. And look, I'm like this. If somebody's giving you something, be grateful for it, because somebody didn't get it. Do you know how many people will be so grateful for just a piece of bread? Like for a piece of bread. You know how many people will be grateful for just a crumb of that? I'm just saying. So, when somebody's giving you something out of the kindness of their heart, then, hey, that's something to be grateful for. I'm also seeing something coming up about a party, some kind of party. We see parties coming up, celebrations here. Also, more talk about offerings and stuff like that. They're going to be asking for offerings, right? It's a part of what they do, all right? But it's up to you whether if you want to give or if you don't want to give, okay? Okay, be a cheerful giver and give what it is that you want to give, all right? But just know that if you're going to church, those pews that you sit in do not come free. Now, I know why my love turned those tables over back in the day. All right. But then at the same time, you take care of those that take care of you. All right. Take care of those that take care of you. All right. That's including your mother. That's including your father. More specifically, I am picking up on mother in the energy. And so mother. So I see a lot of talk coming up about mothers. And so it's going to be we'll see more feminine energy in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. And mother, when I say mother, this is also when you get mass transitions into the spirit, you also get mass conceptions and mass birth. Okay. I'm also picking up on the feminine cervix. Okay. And so that leads me to birth and women's issues. So we're going to see more coming up about women's issues over the next 1 to 3 days or so. More coming up about Planned Parenthood and women's rights in regards to their body. I feel like over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Did you see that they have now had two rats that are both male have made it to have a child or something like that? It's a study that I ran across the other day, and I was like, that's all I can say is all right. All right. Evolution is something else. But it's when you're trying to force that evolution, it becomes something else. And all I can say is, Gots to be more careful. All right. So I'm seeing here, it's also going to be over the next 1 to 3 days to where you may come across somebody in need, and Spirit is saying, if you do, give them what it is that you can give. Don't overextend, because if you overextend, then that could end up hurting you later on. But give what you can. If you have something in excess, I told y'all about the story that it upset me back when I was a homeless missionary, and I was out on the streets of Fort Worth, on Lancaster. I think it was Lancaster Road. And, that's where us homeless people at the time were. And I was there, and there was a church across the street from the Salvation Army. And I always used to try to get, my people, my friends, to go with me to church. And I was like, well, there's a church right here. Why not? I never understood why there was a church right across the street from the Salvation Army where all the homeless were, but the church didn't seem like they had a lot of homeless people in there until the day I actually went to that church. And I finally got a group. It was probably seven. It was like 7, 8, 9 of us deep. And I felt like I did something, because I was like, yeah, they in here. All right, so we went in there, and Pastor shook our hands and everything like that. And then all of a sudden he was like, he got up in the pulpit and he started talking some mess. All right. Now we're obviously homeless, so we're coming as we are. All right. So we're not all dressed elaborate. We're some of us are in jeans, some of us are in shorts, but we're in there. They don't know what we had to go through to get there, but we're in there. And so anyways, to make a long story short, the pastor get up and he gets up and he tells the congregation, now men, we wear suits on Sundays, and there's only one man in that building that's not wearing a suit, pretty much. And that's one of my friend guys, because he's wearing shorts. He was wearing a pair of khaki shorts because that's all he had to wear. Okay. And so it's like, I felt like that pastor was out of line. Oh, and I'm going to rebuke you. I felt like that pastor was out of line, and I hope and I pray that he rebuked himself later on, because he is the reason now that I would rather go out into the highways and the byways sometimes than to sit in a pulpit, because I know that sometimes the people in the pulpit are not always there. No, I'd rather go out into the highways and byways. They have these videos now coming along where they say, we are the church. You are the church. And so putting more attention into your clothing and your attire, that's not it. That's not it. Okay? Nurture those who come into you, because you don't know what they had to do to get there. What good is it for some of us who are out here in the highways and byways encouraging people to go into the church, and you treat them poorly when they get into the church, yeah, I'm going to rebuke you. Because it even caused me to feel some kind of way. All right? Now, I know that's not all preachers, that's not all teachers, it's not all pastors, that's not all rabbis. But you wonder why you seem to be under attack right now. And people always seem to have something to say about a pastor and how crooked he is and all of this stuff. It's because they've seen examples of that crookedness. And so now they associate the church with something bad. And I seen this guy, and I'm going off topic. Boy, am I going off topic. I seen this guy the other day, and he was talking about Jesus and how Jesus come back, they just gonna do to him what they did to him before. And why would y'all follow Jesus? Y'all just don't know that Antichrist energy is here, baby. Y'all don't know the Antichrist is already amongst you, and it is basically AI. Y'all don't even see that. It's being used. AI is being used as the Antichrist. People are being used as the Antichrist. They don't even know their position. That they don't even realize that that's what they're doing. They're looking at it as in, oh, we're woke. We're spiritual. No, you're not woke and you're not spiritual if you don't realize that the two must come together as one. It is never about killing off Jesus. It is never about taking the power away from Jesus. It is giving her back her power. It is putting divine feminine and the divine masculine back together so that there is a wholeness and a completion. If that does not happen, except it be with night and day, it will not be at all. Night being moon, day being sun, son and daughter. Except it be with night and day, it will not be at all. Except the entire house of Israel is joined back together, it will not be at all. This is about putting back and getting back and giving back what is rightful and so. It has never been about Jesus not existing. Because if you know like I know, Jesus does exist. Now, do we know him by a different name? Yes. I know him by a different name. I know him by many names. But when you start talking about Jesus not being the Son of God, I'm not listening to you anymore. Because I know that I know that I know he is who he is. Now, I know him by a different name. So you may hear me call him something else at times. Probably not, because that's my little secret, okay? You're my little secret. And that's how we should keep it. That's escape, y'all. But anyways, so yeah. And that's that little bit of church energy that I said I was coming up in the energy, all right? But no, that's not how that's supposed to go. All right, so I'm also seeing presentations coming up. You're going to be seeing a lot of presentations at work. You're going to see a lot of some people are going to be getting bonuses at work. You're going to be seeing awards. The Nobel Peace Prize. I feel like that's going to be something about talk coming up over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Premiums, insurance premiums and stuff like that. You're going to hear talk about that in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. I told you about choice, women's choice, a lot coming up about choice, The Chosen. We may hear something about the show The Chosen or one of its actors, okay, coming up over the next 1 to 3 days or so, okay? So there's going to be a lot of favoritism in the energy as well over the next 1 to 3 days or so. We're also seeing something coming up in the news about pets. All right. Veterinaries, pets, making sure it's about to get hot, so make sure your pets are well shaven down, and make sure they have their water that they need as it starts getting hot here, because I am picking up on bomb and fire and all of these things. Okay, so I'm also seeing subscription services. We're going to hear about some kind of subscription service in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so, and approval. Okay, so this could be premium approvals. Okay, but whereas before I wasn't seeing the approval, now I'm seeing the favor, I'm seeing the approval. Okay, I told somebody the other day that somebody owes you money. Now I'm telling somebody today, over the next specifically tomorrow, go ahead and put in those applications for a job. Make sure you put in those applications for your insurance. Make sure you put in those applications for whatever it is that you want to do, because I see here that we have the energy for approval. Sometimes it's not what you do, is when you do it. Okay. And so I'm also seeing a lot coming in about champion and advisors and advocates. Okay, a lot of recommendations here, polite request being given over the next 1 to 3 days, and accommodations is what I'm seeing. So accommodations is housing, energy. We talked about that before. Coming up, a lot of humor over the next 1 to 3 days or so we can see stuff coming in about a new, it could be a Netflix series, but comedian. Okay, we could talk about comedians coming in. But rest if you need to rest, like I said today, so that you can be up to speed tomorrow. A lot coming in about appearance, facial features, appearance here. And this could have something to do with like I see a lot coming in about relationships. Somebody might tell you, you look so much like your mom, or you remind me of your mother, or something like that. I'm seeing something coming up about resemblance. This could also be we'll hear like, is this his baby or is not? Is it not his baby? Is this her baby or is it not? So it's kind of like, what is it called? Like DNA kind of like talk coming in over the next 1 to 3 day. Paternity news is what I'm picking up on. Okay. Someone by the name of Fora may be coming up here. I'm also seeing something coming up about farm. We'll hear news about farm and agricultural talk. I feel like this has to do with land, buildings, crops, stuff like that is what I'm specifically seeing, and rearing animals. So farm is going to come up in the news, because I told you I'm seeing something coming up with animal sickness over the next 1 to 3 days or so. And yesterday we had veterinarians in the energy. We may see something coming up with foam, okay? And I say may, but we will. Okay, over the next 1 to 3 days, I'm seeing something highlighted in the news about foam. The last time this was in the energy, they had to use a sludge, like a foam. They had to put foam on a runway so that a plane could land. And so, but that's back in the energy here. Collections and tax talk here tomorrow. That's the energy tomorrow. A part of it is that, if you owe someone, they're going to try to collect from you tomorrow. Also talk about taxes more so as well here coming up. So something definitely, it could be farm tax. Okay, farm tax, talk about stuff like that. Payments, fees, revenue. So a lot of finance talk coming up in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so here. All right. So fermentation, we're going to be seeing stuff about that coming up. Algorithm. So AI talk, inventions and stuff like that over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Produce. So, of course, that goes back to the farm energy here. So I do feel like there is some rain, and like maybe scattered showers, but I am picking up on a little bit of rain energy over the next 1 to 3 days or so as well in certain areas. But for some, it's going to be raining in certain areas, but in others, it's going to be hot. Okay. I mean, like hot. There is also boiling incidents. So when you're cooking, make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing, because I'm seeing like pots and pans and stuff being knocked off of stoves and stuff like that. So these are scalding incidents. Okay, so we're going to see some confirmations, still construction in the energy. So we're going to see stuff coming up about constructions, arrangements, stuff like that. I'm seeing it could be fashion coming up in the energy, because there's a lot in the energy about appearance. So news about the fashion world over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Incarnation talk here, so reincarnation talk, so don't be surprised. I'm seeing a lot of expressions, people expressing their feelings about certain things, just like I did earlier. So people are going to be very opinionated, and just know that they're entitled to their opinions. Okay, and opinions don't do nothing to the truth. Okay, the truth is the truth. Okay, and time will tell it. All right. So I see stuff being put in categories, because it's still like this organization energy, and I feel like this is stereotyping, because I am getting a lot of Afro energy. This could be a hair show we'll hear in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Like what do you call those things? Like a hair show. I can't say it any other way. So we'll hear something about a hair show coming up here. But I also feel like it's like discrimination talk as well, because I'm seeing a lot about Afro Americans, Afrocentric, my Afro puffs, that type of stuff coming up. All right. So I'm seeing like this is a good time to break habits. But there's going to be people breaking protocol. And so you're going to hear this in the news over the next 1 to 3 days about people breaking protocol. This could be something coming about customs, etiquette, social practices, but protocol, it seems like it's going to be broken here. So hair show, fashion convention style, that's coming up. Broken policies, broken methods, new policies, new methods, approved policies, approved bills and methods. We're going to see manners and politics. We're going to hear a lot about that. Somebody's going to feel like somebody had less than acceptable behavior here. So protocol talk coming up here. So I'm also seeing something coming up about documentation. Make sure you document everything here, because I'm seeing a lot about paperwork. So that could be, like I said, make sure you're putting in the applications. I am seeing something about schools. So this is people, maybe students going and putting in their applications for college here. More specifically, I'm seeing something coming up about the Masters of Arts. So this could be arts in itself. We're going to see a lot coming up about arts. Like very social here is what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing bands, music, sports also coming up. Specifically, I'm seeing here sports, soccer. Okay, soccer, football. And so fitness and stuff like that talk is coming up. The condition of a player, I feel like it's going to come up. I also see settlements coming up, and I told you about that before. So I'm seeing something having to do with rabbits in the news over the next 1 to 3 days, and like dens and layers and stuff like that, like lions dens and stuff like that, lions and tigers and bears, however they said. So I'm seeing about animals here. Okay, so two parts coming together that were previously divided. We're going to hear in the news. I feel like this is on a government level. I see something about institutes, and then we talked about the subsidiary. So what it could be is that subsidiary, what ends up happening is like they get rid of that and then they merge it. So we talk about mergers, business mergers, innovation and assembly. This is what's in the energy. I do see somebody by the name of Marshall. We're going to hear something about Marshall. This could even be martial law. Okay, but we're going to hear talk about this coming up. I am seeing something about deploy and deployment. We're going to hear news over the next 1 to 3 days about deploy and deployment, rank. And this could also be a deputy or some kind of Marine or a military individual that gets in trouble because of a behavioral issue or doing things that is out of the appropriate expected. Okay, so is what I'm picking up on here. So I'm seeing a lot coming up about like cast and sculptures. And so we talked about falls before. So this cast could actually be like a cast being put on, like a foot or something like that. But more specifically, I'm seeing arms. Okay. I see like arms like being affected with this energy. So something coming up about the arm. Okay. Carvings, tattoos, carvings, sculptures, carvings. I'm seeing something about carvings, the writing on the wall. Maybe they see some writing on the wall because we are in spiritual energy, okay? So we might hear somebody say, that there was like this occurrence of, I don't know what they call it, like Jesus appears or something like that here. So that's what I'm seeing. A lot of space talk. So journeys into space. So this could be Elon Musk. This could be Bezos. But I'm seeing about space talk. Okay, and journey into space. So news about coming up is likely Elon Musk because Bezos has kind of been sitting in the cut. He ain't really been saying much, and y'all think that's okay. But I think that might be a bit dangerous, like a tad bit dangerous here. I'm also seeing stuff coming up here about different processes that's going to be mended and changed here over the next 1 to 3 days or so. I'm seeing stuff coming up about manufacturing. So we're having like production because production has to do with business. Okay, so over the next 1 to 3 days, we're going to see, if you notice, there's a lot of spiritual and business energy, and more so business than anything, it seems like, coming up over the next 1 to 3 days or so here, and fashion. Okay, like here is what I'm seeing. Clothing, African clothing. It could be African clothing, African Americans, but more talk about, or maybe it's Africans needing clothing, donations being sent over that way of some sort for some reason. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot about African American here, with possible discrimination coming up in the energy here. A lot of gambling. This could be like a gambling convention or something like that. Gambling awards. I don't know. But that could be what we see in the news over the next 1 to 3 days, because I see gambling highlighted in the news. Also the beach, the seaport. I'm picking up on a lot of that. More specifically, here I'm seeing Portugal. So we're going to hear something in the news about Portugal over the next 1 to 3 days of so. I'm also seeing here um, more about the exchange over the next 1 to 3 days or so. I told you they were going to have a busy week last week, and that was the case. Oh, well, when I say last week, I mean this week. Yeah. Yeah, that was the case. Okay. So I see some kind of assembly, some kind of meeting. Okay, for some of you, that's going to be church. I also see what looks like a rally. Okay, so this could be more marching in the streets. I'm also picking up on councils and conclaves and stuff like that. So that's what you talk that you could be expected to hear. Also concerts, because I see a stage. Okay, scene. So these could actually be targets wherever the mass is congregating. There is the potential for mass shootings, mass bombings, and more specifically in this energy over the next 1 to 3 days or so, it's bombings, and I see that for sure. Okay. I'm seeing stuff coming up about court case and laws, the justice system coming up. So y'all want to be on alert and watchful and be active. Make sure you are taking care of your business and doing your due diligence as well to protect the constituents and to protect the people. Okay. Because and get out of that energy to where everybody's going at each other, because you miss stuff when you do that. People are going to be going to bars, still that bar fights, bar drinking, all that stuff. But this could also be talking about the law and the bar, because I'm getting a lot of like college energy coming in. So we might hear news about students preparing for college here as well. Okay, so something coming in about Roman. This could be also somebody by the name of Roman, but I feel like this is giving me ancient Roman. Okay, ancient Rome. Okay, here coming up, we'll see in the next news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. The marketplace is highlighted. Public meeting place, marketplaces, be on alert, because like I said, I see threats and I see mass threats. Okay, shootings, bombings, this type of thing over the next 1 to 3 days. Somebody by the name of Mora could be significant as well. We'll see in the news over the next 1 to 3 days here. And so I see speeches being had, and for some of you, I see like a delay of something here. So we're going to be here talk about some kind of delay. Okay, some kind of delay. This could have some kind of effect on technology here. And like I said, I'm seeing something about like the military, the army coming up. I'm also seeing something about South Asia. We'll hear something about South Asia as well. I'm seeing something about the Caribbeans coming in. And I'm also seeing something about a wave. And so typically when it's something about a wave, that is tsunami threat, could possibly be a hurricane, but I don't feel like it's hurricane. I feel like it's more like a tsunami, because I've been sensing tsunami for a while here. And so, but I do see like a massive wave. Okay. And I am also seeing something coming in about like a march and a patrol, stuff like that. So like I said, a rally. They're showing me like kind of like a strike or something like that here. Okay, so we should see that in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or more about that in the news here. Something coming up about phones, mobile phones, technology, that's still coming up. Broadcasting networks, these are going to be things that's going to be affected by this energy over the next 1 to 3 days or so that I'm seeing. Europe is coming up in the energy. I think I told you about South America already. Ramani, Hindi, I'm seeing in the energy. Avocados, talk about avocados, animals, specifically dogs barking here over the next 1 or 3 days or so. Of course, that's every day, but when I say over the next 1 or 3 days or so, it might be an investigator or something, and that's what you're listening for. You're listening for like a dog or something here. Mac. Okay, so this might be a new Mac computer. This could be somebody by the name of Mac. This could be a macaroni and cheese concert. Concert. This could be a macaroni and cheese contest. But that's what I'm picking up over the next 1 or 3 days here. I'm also seeing limits being put on things. Might be limits put on the amount of certain items you're going to be able to buy at the store. This could be limits put on like how much people are able to charge for housing. But I'm seeing some kind of limits put on certain things here. Okay. Oh, let's see. I'm also seeing something coming up about people feeling sorry for somebody and empathetic for them is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing as well as something having to do with respect. Somebody, over the next 1 to 3 days, people will be paying respect. So these are people, there's mass transition into spirit. So we're going to be hearing about celebrities passing away, loved ones passed away. But more specifically, it could be a celebrity mother passed away. But I am seeing transitions into the spirit and stuff like that. So a lot of collections. I already told you about that. Here, let me see. All right. I am seeing here moving from place to place. Moving from place to place. Something is going to be moved. This could be companies being moved from one place into another place. We'll hear talk about that. Also, we're going to hear talk about the homeless, obviously, people who are as well as immigration, because we're seeing movement from place to place, from pillar to post. And so basically talk about that here. But also when we're talking movement, a lot of things being movement. In this instance, earlier I got things being moved in a circle early on in the week, right? Like whirling. This time I'm getting something moving from side to side. It's almost like the pendulum, okay? Moving from side to side. And when a pendulum moves from side to side, for me, that means no, okay? So that means no. So that's a limitation here. Barbarian, okay? Neanderthals and stuff like that. I'm getting some racist energy, y'all. All right. That's what I'm picking up on in this energy reading. I'm seeing some barbarians. Think about what barbarians did. Think about what the Neanderthals did. And that's what we're going to see in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. But we're also in history energy. So it could be just the history of that, things being found and stuff. I told you about that here. Bacterial infections and stuff. Reproductive cells, fertilization talk coming up in vitro here, especially for humans and animals. I'm seeing here. Also, I told you about sports. I told you about, resellers. It could have something to do with reselling stuff, because we did have Goodwill. So something coming up about a thrift store. It doesn't have to be Goodwill, but that's just what we're seeing in the energy here. Okay. I'm also seeing something coming up about navigation systems and stuff like this, GPS. This could be new new add-ons to that here. All right. So when you're working machinery, because we're entering production, and so when we enter production, there's always missteps sometimes that happen. So over the next 1 or 3 days, there's a threat for people's limbs to be, well, 1 to 6 days, because I'm actually ahead of the energy a little bit. And so there's going to be, we're going to hear more about like people's limbs being cut off, their arms being cut off, more specifically. All right, so a lot of projects coming up is what I'm seeing here. So, yeah, a lot of business talk, y'all. Something coming up about a satellite we're going to hear in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. It could be talk about a satellite picking up a signal, from extraterrestrials, but I am picking up like something about satellites, especially we're talking about space talk. So it could be going up in space to repair a satellite or some talk about that. But I am picking up something about a satellite here over the next 1 to 3 days. Also a rig. This could have something to do with the oil rig coming in here, but I'm seeing something about a rig. Okay. Or, rig, something about a rig. Here, it could be someone that's rigged an explosive device in a satellite, and they're just trying to blow up a satellite or something like that. This is what you can expect, the unexpected. Okay. All right. Make sure you're storing your food well, because I'm seeing a lot of spoilage here. I'm seeing a lot of damage, and I'm seeing a lot of people upset about something. And this could have something to do with birds. Oh, that's what it is. Bird flu. Okay. Spoil and bird. Okay. Flightless bird, that's the chicken. Okay, so watch out for bird flu here. But I'm also picking up on birds such as emus as well in the energy. So we'll hear something coming in about New Zealand as well, and hummus. Okay, hummus in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. German and Dutch. We'll hear in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Here, the elderly, we'll hear something about elderly, specifically elderly women in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. Grandma, granny, mother. Okay. All right. So, and like I said, we're still seeing falls. So watch your elders when it comes down to falls, because I'm seeing falling incidents. Okay. So watch your elders. Make sure you're paying attention to those who are in nursing homes, and when it comes down to machinery and stuff like that, because there could be like elder neglect talk over the next 1 to 3 days as well. All right. But a lot coming up with computers, okay, and technology, and is what I'm seeing, okay, and a lot coming up as well about royals. I'm still picking up on the royals. This is the royal family. Yesterday I got something about a royal being hospitalized or having to be rushed to emergency. I'm still picking up on bank energy. We're going to hear something coming up in the news over the next 1 to 3 days about memory, because memory is associated with computers and technology and knowledge and all of that as well. But yeah, cutting incidents. I am picking up with boats and propellers and stuff like that, blades. So I do see accidents happening here when it comes down to propellers. This could be airplane propellers, boat propellers, but I'm picking up on incidents having to do with that. Okay, here, let's see. I'm also picking up on Okay, I told you about relationship issues. If you're having problems with your relationships, sometimes it's just the energy communicating to you that you have a communication problem in your relationship. So there's a lot of fighting tonight, more specifically late in the AM. So increased domestic violence in the AM. Increased breakups in the AM. And I told you over the next 1 to 3 days or so, that's what we would be seeing a couple of days ago. And so couples fighting is still in the energy here. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing, like I told you before, we're still seeing something about like foreign substance, like trying to figure out like, what is this? Like, what is that substance? Here I'm seeing. So I'm also seeing hymns, singing. Here I'm seeing Australia, something coming about up about Australia. Welsh is in the energy. Morocco is in the energy, and Massachusetts is in the energy here over the next 1 or 3 days or so. Okay. Yeah. And so that's what I'm seeing here. Some things will transpire. Okay. That, you want to make sure you know where your exits are. Okay. When you're walking into these buildings and you're going into these mass places. I'm not trying to scare you, but just make sure you know where your exits are and make sure you have like a plan to get out. Okay. Okay. I'm also seeing here something about Mo. Mo is still in the energy. This doesn't have to be Monica, but I'm still seeing something about Mo. Magneto. Okay. Magneto. We may see a new X-Men movie come out that might center around Magneto, but I'm specifically getting, or a comic book about Magneto, but I'm picking up Magneto. All right. Missouri is in the energy, as well as here we still have a lot about money in the energy as well. Here, let's see, steel. I still see a lot coming up about steel, not just people stealing, but actually like the metal. Like I see steel and metal, and that's something that I did see in the news over the few days ago when I was talking about that is that something that President Trump was doing with that. Okay. Good day to meditate. I'm seeing here talk about prayers, recitations, text, ancient text, this type of thing. I'm seeing gas explosions. Argon is in an energy. Arkansas is in an energy over the next 1 or 3 days. Something about the Republic coming up. Augmented reality. So, it's coming up in the news over the next 1 or 3 days or so. And Pradesh. Okay. So that's what I have for the daily energy today. As you can see, it's a lot. Okay. But I love you. Gubla One. Hearts go out. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out. Hearts go out. Bye.